Hey guys, what's up? It's Rockethouse54 here, and welcome to my list for the worst films of 2019. Now, this is going to be a way shorter video because there really wasn't that many bad films that were released this year, that I saw at least. So this is actually only going to be a top five because, as I said, 2019 was a pretty decent year for movies. I thought there were a lot of really good ones. Um, and I would also like to apologize. I was gonna say in the best movies of 2019 video, I think this one's gonna be going up first. Um, because it's gonna be shorter. But in the best movies of 2019 video that I did, I stumbled over my words a lot and tried to think of things to say and just couldn't think of anything. I've had that happen to me a lot recently, and it's really really annoying. Um, and I'm probably gonna be even more lost for words here because I mean, like, this is my worst films of the year list, so I'm not gonna really, I guess, care to remember that much about them. But I will try my best. So without further ado, let's just get started. Number five is Velvet Buzzsaw. I'm not a Jake Gyllenhaal fan to begin with. The only movie I thought he was great in was Enemy, and I guess Donnie Darko, yeah. And with Velvet Buzzsaw, it has a very interesting concept, and I'll admit, I really enjoyed the last 40 minutes of this. And the horror kind of concepts were really cool, but they spent like all the other time in the movie just not doing what it was best at. Like, because really, I thought like the last 40 minutes of this was like an R rated Goosebumps episode, and I was loving that part. But most of it was just really boring with Jake Gyllenhaal just acting really stupid. Coming in at number four is a film I was actually really looking forward to, and I really wish this had delivered, but this one just didn't do it for me. Number four is High Life. And it's sad to say that I actually think it's my least favorite A24 film. I mean, this movie was too artsy for my taste, and not much really happened in it. Like, it's, if you want to really read into things, then this is definitely probably your type of movie. But when it comes to stuff you have to really read into, it's very hit or miss with me. So, like, especially with this one, this was just one of the ones where it missed. And I was really looking forward to this because Robert Pattinson was fantastic in Good Time. And he wasn't bad here, but he wasn't given much to do, so I thought his acting abilities weren't really shown here. He was great in The Lighthouse, though, I will say that. He was awesome in The Lighthouse. But yeah, overall, this just really wasn't that interesting of a movie for me. It's one of those kind of artsy movies that just wasn't for me. And coming in at number three is The Silence. I don't even have much to say about this one. Like, it's a rip-off of A Quiet Place, and it's not even half as good. Like, I don't even remember anything about this movie. I'm just gonna be honest. It's, as I said, it's a rip-off of A Quiet Place, and it's not even half as good. Moving on to number two. My god, my best movies of the year list is almost half an hour long, and this is probably gonna come in at under 10. Woohoo! Jeez, I should get a medal or something. Coming in at number two is a film that I wasn't sure what I was gonna think of it, but I was very intrigued to see how it would be. And number two is Serenity. Now, you've probably heard tons of things about this movie, because a lot of people are like that it's completely off the walls and it's best to go in not knowing anything. And if you do decide to watch this, definitely go in not knowing much, because you may end up really liking certain parts of it. And I was looking forward to this because of all the weird things I'd heard. And this was also directed by Stephen Knight, who directed Locke, which is one of my favorite films of the 2010s, one of my favorite A24 movies. And like for most of this, it's just really boring and just Matthew McConaughey on a boat showing off his abs and fishing. That's really what most of it is. And then something really, really funny and weird happens partway through that I'll admit was kind of cool, like how it just flipped itself on its head partway through. But for the most part, I just, like while that idea was cool, it wasn't enough to make me overlook the really boring, like I think first half. I think it was like that for around the first half or so. It wasn't enough to make me overlook that. I really wish it did, because it could be one of those so bad it's good movies, but unfortunately this one, it had potential to be that, and it is to some people. It just didn't register that way with me. And coming in at number one, we're not doing the drum roll for number one, no way. Number one is Girl. I bet a lot of you don't even know about this film, because I haven't seen it talked about by literally anybody. But this is a Netflix film, so if you guys want to go ahead and watch it, it is on Netflix. And it's a French film, I believe. I saw it a while ago, but this is a you can make a really good movie out of this concept. It's about it's about somebody who was born a boy who is wanting to become a girl and is going through the struggles of being trans. Like you can make a great movie out of that, and especially with the main character wanting to be a ballerina, like going to dancing school, it also makes it a little harder. I have no idea how you mess up a movie about trans people so badly. I was baffled by how this turned out when it was over. Here's the funny thing. The one thing I'll say about this movie is that the lead actor is great. The main performance was the only thing that kept me from giving this a lower star rating. Like, the lead actor is really, really good in this movie. And unfortunately, that was like the only good thing about it. Like, if you want to try showing the struggles of trans people, try actually showing it. Because in this movie, like, it does show, like, the stuff that the main character has to go through. It is actually showing the struggles of, maybe trying to become trans. It does actually show that. I should rephrase. It does show it. But it's the direction that makes no sense. Like, because, like, the main character will have something bad happen to her, and the character just doesn't even react. Like, there's something near the beginning, like, where the main character's little brother calls her a boy, like, calls her by her male name, like her birth name. And then she's like, and she kind of flips for like a teensy little second, and then immediately calms down and says, just don't say that again, okay? But, like, it's not just that. Like, this character, like, goes through physical and mental struggles all throughout, and it doesn't show to really affect her at all. Like, there's a really, really heart-wrenching scene in this movie that, like, takes place at, like, a sleepover. And I'm like, that is so sad. But it doesn't show to affect the main character at all. And then just all of a sudden, the main character does something very, very drastic at the end that's very disturbing. But it's like, it seems weird because it doesn't show, like, any signs really that these things affected the main character. Like, you have to show what the character's feeling. You can't assume that we know what's going on in their mind. Like, this could have been such a great movie, but it just took too many wrong turns, and it's a real shame because this is a concept that can be done really, really well. Anyway, guys, that is it for my worst films of 2019, and I am actually considering doing a video titled Everything Else of 2019, where I talk about all the films and all the albums that weren't in my best or worst movies of 2019 lists, or in my best albums of 2019 list. Because especially from the movies, because I know there's a lot of like really, really loved and respected movies of this year that I didn't include in my best list that I actually did really like, but they just weren't enough to be in my best list. And so yeah, I'm thinking of making that. I don't know when that is gonna go up, but yeah, I'm very excited to talk about everything else, especially. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe for more content. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. And remember, you guys, whenever shaving, say no to drugs.